This is a Looney Studios podcast. Hello and welcome to Aerde Talks. I'm Hunter Looney, the Game Master, and this show is here to dive deeper into the world of Aerde, which is traversed in Aerde Tales. I'm joined today by Leah, who plays Gamore, and Noah, who plays Salvazar. And we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Aerde Tales and the political systems of Aerde, specifically the United Provinces of Deei. So, last episode opened up with the brightening, with the little kid that was traveling with y'all, Ellie. And it was found out that Salvazar also suffered from that and had to keep it a secret. So, what were your thoughts on that happening?
I had no idea what was going on. Why she was glowing.
Did you think it was like a bomb? She was a human bomb?
No, I mean...
I thought it was more of a curse.
That would have been cool. Dang it.
I mean, I think what it is cool. Like, realistically.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to up the ante more. The last episode introduced the kid.
Yeah, apparently. I just didn't expect it, so it was a nice little thing at the beginning.
And so then, on your all's way to the town, though, y'all hid your two softest teammates.
Softest. Yeah.
Away where it is, they pretty much have plot armor now, unless everybody in your crew dies. So thanks for that.
Welcome.
You solved my Pox going to die puzzle.
Threatening me out of game to kill Pox, so I had to stash him somewhere.
It was really
No,
just...
I stashed him.
Yeah, he asked Mushak to hide, right? I don't remember.
Well, I think it was like we were trying to figure out what to do with him, and I was like, "Can we put them somewhere together?"
And then Mushak's like, "Oh, hey, I know this spot."
Yeah.
That presumably should still be safe. So after that, y'all just, after all the stress out of game, in game, what do y'all just strolled into town?
Yep.
Just walked in the front door. Sometimes the simplest method seems to work. I mean, y'all presumably have a fight coming up with the Doen. Mm-hmm. It presumably got scheduled. Y'all are waiting outside of the Doen temple, and he is supposedly coming there to challenge both of you all. Or you all are challenging him.
Salvazar and Mushak.
Yeah.
Not Gamore, yes.
Yeah.
You're saying you all, like you're talking to us.
So well, yeah, that's true.
Like you meant us.
I
ain't in this fight.
So we talked off mic that I'm still going to be Mushak. You didn't want to not be Gamore, so I'm going to be Mushak in there, but mainly letting Salvazar drive that side of the battle and Mushak do mostly what's going on. Whatever Salvazar thinks. I mean, she still has a mind of her own and whatnot. Uh-huh. And also, Noah, you and I have talked off mic, is if everything works out, mm-hmm. you want Mushak to be the Doen.
Yep.
And you be like her right-hand man that does all the secret stuff and take care of it. Uh-huh. And what was the Naruto reference? Like, she would be Naruto when he's Hokage. Mm-hmm. And then you would be
Sasuke.
Okay. Alright. Hey, what?
He's so embarrassed.
What, that we brought up Naruto?
Yes. His dad's referencing Naruto specifically.
Oh, gosh.
How dare you?
I'm glad that it worked out that y'all had a time to set outside the temple and pretty much trade stuff and prep things.
Yeah.
and stuff.
Because before that, when you were like, do y'all want to trade anything? I was like, is there something that we should trade that makes sense? I don't know.
And I edited it down a bit to where it's not going to be as much of the debating as it happened in real time. Y'all have anything else about that latest episode?
Can we please talk about the cute kitty ring?
I thought we already talked about
The
that.
kawaii kitty ring.
No, when you did it to the Doan though this time.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that. What was going through your mind? Please tell me.
She's not putting you on blast. She's just generally curious what happened.
I'll try to like tick them off a little bit, but also be like, hey, accept the challenge, pretty please.
Wait, so you were trying to be cute to get him to agree?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think it would.
Off.
Oh, if it didn't work to be cute, he would get so aggravated that it would also show his hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's you're trying to like. What's it called when you act like you're bad at something and you're really good?
You were
Like
sandbagging.
Pool or something.
Sandbagging.
Yeah, thought you were doing that, like trying to act all cute and innocent.
I don't know how to fight.
I'm just a cute little kitty.
Mm-hmm.
And you've never fought him, so you don't know how. Oh, like what he does. You've just seen his practice fighting out in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably doesn't show everything there.
Oh, I can tell you as the DM, he does not.
No. All right, yeah. I just wanted to bring up those two things.
I'm going to bring out some D&D mechanics that y'all have not encountered yet in this fight. So, it's going to be fun.
Like, that are a part of Dungeons & Dragons, specifically?
Like, mechanics on how fights work with bosses.
But are they created by you, mechanics? Or you've actually adapted them from Dungeons & Dragons?
So, I can't give you too much right now.
I wouldn't know if you said that it was from Dungeons & Dragons. I haven't played Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, it's just a mechanics on while you're in the battle. It's just like how it's gonna. You'll see.
Alright.
If I say any more, it's going to like tip it. So let's talk about the United Provinces of Deei, which is where this season started out with. Y'all were in the Vatten province. Specifically how their political systems are set up and everything.
Okay.
We get to go into some real history too, from Earth.
Oh boy.
Alright. I know y'all both have -5 to history though, so. I tried.
Leah in real life.
Yeah, I tried to. We won't get too into the thick of it. So the United Provinces of Deei, in the year 200 AME, is split into 5 provinces and then the capital.
AME stand for?
After Malika era.
Okay. Who's Malika?
You'll have to do a history check for me.
I don't have my dice out.
It was okay. It was this group-ish or family that ruled for like thousands of years on this planet, and 200 years ago was overthrown. That was part of the fight that Shay was in and stuff, and was finally overthrown. They ruled most of the planet, and then everybody reset the calendar to end.
See, if it's something like parallel to reality, something that big, I feel like I would know what happened.
Well, yeah.
Even if I'm bad at
I
history.
wasn't going to have you actually roll a history check. It was a joke.
I was like, oh, no, my dice are back there.
So the provinces are the Port Province, the Vatra Province, the Vatten Province, the Vento Province, and the Vlek Province. And then the Deei capital city. Okay? So you're already starting to check out, aren't you? Good God.
check out.
Her brain was already shutting down just by me listing the provinces.
This is what happens. This is why I did not do good in humanities class. My brain's like, I don't care about this. Let's look at this guy.
Alright, so the United Provinces of Deei takes up most of the southern part of that continent, except for the mountain area where Using is. Alright, so there's currently peace with everybody right now, with Using, with United Provinces of Deei, with Desmodon, and then the northern country that y'all haven't went to. Inside of all those provinces total is about 300,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now
Cool.
we're going to shift gears and go to Earth history, because the way their politics are structured, I structured it much like the...
Does this have to do with something with the Native Americans?
Yes, it is the I'm going to attempt to pronounce this. The Haudenosaunee political system, which means the people who build a house. And this was a name that referred to the confederation or alliance of 6 Native American nations that are sometimes known as the Iroquois Confederacy. Okay? All right, so these 6 nations were each their own thing, their own separate nation with their separate languages and everything, but they formed a pact to work together. And it was the Mohawk Nation, which means people of the Flint, and they were called the Keepers of the Eastern Door because they were the easternmost group of
that's
nations.
a cool name.
Yeah. And they were responsible for protecting and defending the eastern boundary of the Iroquois Confederacy. Then there was the Oneida Nation, and they were called the People of the Standing Stone. Then the Onondaga, or the People of the Hills, and they were the Keepers of the Central Fire, which they were considered the capital, and they were like the peacemakers and where the council fire stayed. And then there was the Cayuga, which means people of the Great Swamp. Just such cool names. The Seneca, which means people of the Great Hill, they were the keepers of the Western Door, and they were meant to defend and protect the western boundary. And then the Tuscarora, which means the shirt-wearing people. In 1722, they lived in North Carolina, but they went north to seek refuge with this group and were actually invited in to join the group. So all of these made a political system to where they could settle disagreements and stuff and keep the peace. And so now what I'm about to describe is based a lot around their political system.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to zoom back to Aerde. So each city inside of each province has a mayor and a senator. Okay? The mayor and the senators oversee that particular area around that city, and then they send that senator. The mayor stays, the senator goes to the capital of that province. Kind of local, and then bringing the local stuff to the group. So then in each of the provinces, there's also a governor, governess, or something else that's over the whole province itself. So, when there is a countrywide thing in the United Provinces of Deei, when there's a countrywide decision or inter-provincial politics that needs to be settled, they're handled by the Senate. So each city is allotted that senator, remember? So they then will go to the capital of the whole country and meet in the Senate. Each city gets one Senate, except for the senator, except for the capital, which gets two for each place. So they all go to the capital. So then, these representatives are each divided into 3 separate groups, depending on which province they're in. They're called aliquots. Okay? So these are like groupings. Like if we were thinking about the United States, this would be like if they grouped all the eastern states together, all the middle states together, and then all the western states together. Okay? So, there's a host aliquot, which is the capital city. Alright? And the capital city gets 12 senators just for the capital city. So, the Vatten and Vento provinces are in their own aliquot. They are called the West aliquot. And then the Port, Vatra, and Vlek provinces make up the East aliquot, right? So they're kind of separated East and West groupings, and then the capital is its own thing. All right, I'm going to summarize this really quickly, right? Any senator can bring an idea, law, policy, or decision called motions to the floor. It could be the smallest city in the whole thing. So once that's brought up, the normal process is that the idea will then be debated amongst within their own province first. If their whole province can agree, then it's brought to their aliquot. So if Vatten, which y'all were in, let's say one of the mining towns y'all were in, says they want such and such to happen. Every city in Vatten's like, yeah, that's a good idea. They would then go start debating with the neighboring province that's in their aliquot. If they can get all of them to agree, then it gets brought to everybody. So it keeps scaling up. You have to win over the people around you first, then the next people in your aliquot, then it's brought to the Senate. The reason, and most of the time what happens is the East or the West have to bring up something. The capital city, doesn't usually jump in. So then, you have to debate this with your province in front of the whole Senate too. So your arguments then, if you make poor arguments then, they could be brought back against you later. That aliquot all agrees. They bring that to the whole Senate. The whole Senate starts discussing, except for those capital city people. They just observe. If both of those sides, East and West, agree, good. It's probably going to pass. It's fine. If they disagree, that's when that capital city has to jump in and take over. The reason being is Vatten and Vento are the largest provinces, and they wield considerably more power than the other ones, and land area and towns. So if they can't agree with one another, they didn't want it to be a civil war thing and they start fighting and cause a war. So if they disagree on something, it doesn't even come to the whole Senate, so nobody has to pick sides between them. And that is how those nations did it. Is they put the biggest groups together so that the rest of them didn't have to get in the middle of arguments. And it usually resolved itself. So if it's just something little that the province has to take care of, the governor and the mayors take care of it, so they don't even have to bring it to them. I think that's a good summary for now. We're not going to dive a lot into the local structures. You all did help install a mayor in one of the towns in Vatten.
Jesus, yeah.
So, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You, at least it wasn't a senator. That would have been a whole nother level up.
Also,
Yep.
Leah, I thought you said go north to Alaska, and then you brought a country song into my head, and then I got mad for a little bit.
That's a song that he sings more regularly than me, though.
Way up north to Alaska. Way up north to Alaska. North to Alaska. We're going north. The rush is on. Big Sam left Seattle in the year of 92. With George Pratt, his partner, and brother Billy, too.
Can you please leave this in?
No. Alright, that brings us to the end of the episode of Aerde Talks. In the next episode, we'll dive deeper in the political systems of Aerde, specifically Desmodon.
Yay!
Alright, let's take care of some housekeeping. Our adventures encounter magical items, and I want to invite everyone to visit patreon.com/Looney Studios. The link is in the description. And on the front page, there's a link to a Google form where anyone can submit an idea for a magical item. Anyone can do this, you don't have to be a patron. And you can do it anonymously or put your name or username to it to receive credit if we use it. Please add to this list. We love seeing the magical items that people make. And also, while you're there, please check out the Looney Studios Patreon. If you become a patron, you gain access to the podcast early, among other perks. And speaking of Patreon, I want to thank all our patrons. Thank you for supporting Looney Studios and Aerde Tales. And Looney Studios can be found at looneystudios.com and at the social media platforms listed in the description. Please give a review on your favorite podcasting site, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and submit magical items on our Patreon. The Looney family hopes that you have a wonderful day. That was a Looney Studios podcast.